All right. And we are live. It's been a minute. The last word. LordCognito, Ty Travis, Ebontis, the cheetah, fresh off a little 2-week vacation, so to speak. Things were
Yeah,
happening.
not quite a vacation, but sure. Yeah.
Septums undeviated, you know, people not throwing up, you know, and Cog, you know, in and out of traveling and stuff. But
you weren't working, it was a vacation-y. That's how I feel about it. All right, put your back into it.
Put your back into it. But we're back, man. Let's start back.
I put my head into it.
I was just about to say, let's start with the cheetah, man. How are you feeling, sir? I've had that procedure done. How did you get your saline solution? How you feeling?
So I've already been doing that. I've done that so much for the past like 6 or 7 years. This is my second sinus surgery.
Oh,
so I had my nose cleaned
out. Your nose?
A lot. All the things that can be wrong with the nose, except being broken, I got most of them.
I got that one broken twice. Look at that.
You got to read the super chat. We got to break.
I know this one is also $5 super chat for the Saharan polar bear. Now that I know is made up. I got. Thank you. They're rare and all need our support. Yep, hit those likes.
Yes, bro, hit the like. Thank you, Gary Brown. You're really thoughtful.
But do you know for sure? You should Google it.
You foul for that. Let the boy live.
No, deviated septum, just my nose, allergies, lifelong stuff, deviated septum, trying to fix just like structurally for breathing, for snoring. And like, it was getting to the point where like, just getting ready for like working out. Like I couldn't, like in the middle of rowing, like I was getting to the point where I had to like go like saline rinse my nose just so I could breathe while I was working out.
Oh, question.
Yeah.
Not to get too personal. Did Lady E?
She's
gotta get this
yeah,
no, snoring.
No, the snoring was a real thing. I was like, you can hit me as hard as you can, but I'm a heavy sleeper. So she's over there like, I'm like, you can punch me. I'm like, she's like, it doesn't matter. You don't wake up. She's like, we could be being robbed and you'd be asleep. I'd be like, cool.
Facts. Yeah, you got to get it done,
like
bro.
a rock. So, had that done, and honestly, like I took they give you more pain pills than they ever should. Like I took one. First day just to be like, all right, I'm good. And then after that, it was like,
hey, I'll take the rest.
I probably shouldn't transport those over state lines.
Utilizing those for.
But
I live in San Francisco. I love fentanyl.
Yo.
Whoa.
Moving
on. Yeah. So just kind of been in recovery in that. So not working out too much for obvious reasons. Not too bad on the healing. It's just like kind of plugged and stuffy, and then went to the doctor. Follow-up was pretty good. Second follow-up's on Monday. Other than that, watching everybody enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. I played the Server Slam. I beat Ashava. I think I said that right.
Cool.
I beat Ashava. I beat Ashava too, bro.
Nice. So I'll be getting the horn thing that's... You what?
Currently. I said I got that mount equipped.
Nice.
Ooh, flags. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They get the special mount. And then I beat Stray Blade today. Stray Blade. So the game I got a code for. Played about 4 hours. Now, for whatever reason, Steam almost lost my save. And most people probably would have been like, you lost my save. But I knew where the save folder was. So I went to go find the file. And I was like, that's the newer file. I moved it. I had to like uninstall, reinstall, moved one file over, copied it, did that, played like 6 hours yesterday. Got in today, and I was like, I lost the 6 hours of progress. I'm like, I went to go find the save file again. It was there, and I moved it. So I was like, all right, I'm beating it today, and I actually did knock it out. It's a 5 or a 6. It's only okay. I mean, it's a little indie kind of Souls, like beginner Souls-ish, but it was, you know, kind of unpolished. Like some of the enemies were having some weird glitches where they'd like start an animation. You either parry or dodge. You have 2 options: it's a blue attack or a red attack. Yeah, it was like honestly, I looked at the IGN scales. Like I think I would land on a 5. I think mediocre. So
sounds mediocre based on your description.
Yeah, I was like,
you described it well.
And it was just like the boss fights were kind of cool. Some music was in there. They had like finisher moves that had some fun animations, but there's also a decent amount of jank to go with it. Like,
it'd be kind of cool. I interviewed them.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah, I actually interviewed them this year, PAX East, and the art style was intriguing.
Yeah, it was
I really
like
liked the way it looked.
stylized.
Yeah, but you could tell like they're small.
Like if I had been a part of making this game, I would be like, this is like I put my heart and soul into this thing, and that's why I don't want to bash it. But it's also when you play like certain things were just unpolished and like, you know, the way the environment would work and like little things here and there. So it was like, I mean, it's like not to be mean, mediocre, but I was like, I think that's a fair description. Like, it's not bad. It's not a 4. I read that description. It's like, it's not a bad game, but like there's some good, some bad, some ups, some downs. Like it's, you know, it's okay. The one I don't think I'm going to get to play anything else before everything starts on Tuesday, but yeah, there's a couple other small ones I'm looking at.
Quick question before we pass the trap. How did you manage to stay clear of both Tears of the Kingdom and Jedi Survivor?
Oh, I beat Jedi Survivor.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
okay.
played, beat it. Played it,
I had
beat
to beat
it.
it before Diablo came out.
Yeah, I played that on launch, beat it in over like by the weekend I was done. Like I played that pretty hard. Like it was 21 hours for me to beat it. I think I recorded.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, no, Jedi Survivor was I forgot it's been 2 weeks. Jedi Survivor is great. Played on my PC. I played through EA Play. I had a pretty smooth experience. Now there was some frame chunkage, not gonna lie, but no crashes. Generally smooth, and that's why like people who give it like an 8 or a 9, it's not perfect, but that is a damn good game. And it's one of those that like you can have jank, and then the Redfall's a whole thing, and that's like I've listened to enough, and you've talked about that plenty. I've listened to like all the podcasts on that one just because it's a whole discussion. But like Jedi Survivor's like so good. I don't care about any of the jank. You just keep going, and that's Jedi Survivor's a great game. It's fantastic. So if you haven't checked that one out, please do, because it's really good, and it probably only gets better as it gets patched.
Cool. Trev, what be going on with you, sir? You got so much going on, man.
Yeah, I've got a ton going on. I hung out with Tommy Wiseau the weekend before last. We saw we were it's the 20th anniversary coming up. I was in Seattle for a couple days for Dungeons and Dragons coverage. I was in LA for yesterday for Telltale showing off their first game since the revival. I'm doing lots of stuff, guys, and of course, right now I'm playing Diablo 4.
Nice.
Got the review code. All my progress is going to be wiped when the game comes out, so I have to play through the entire game on all the characters and then lose all the progress and then do it again with the game.
Okay, I gotta ask, do you have to go through it on all 5 characters?
I sure do.
And I was like, that seems like after a while you are gonna understand
the game. Well, because you have to understand the end game on all characters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get 2 to 3 characters to max, and then I'm gonna have other people on the IGN team give me access to their accounts who maxed out other.
Okay, that helps. I'm like,
and then I'm
gonna
play with them, and I'll inspect their skill trees and try to have an understanding of the balance. But I want to see everything end game stuff before that. But anyway. I don't want to talk about any of that this week, guys. I have a little bit of a bone to pick with the Destiny community, and I just want to use I want to use this platform to just rant a little bit.
All right, everybody.
Let's
go.
The thing I want to rant about is triumphs. Okay, because I believe that triumphs and triumph score are the dumbest thing that Destiny has ever created.
Well,
I think anybody who cares about triumphs are idiots.
Eddie.
And I think that if you yourself waste any time on triumphs, you're a complete idiot.
I was like, hold on, there's got to be a reason for this. For our audio listeners who don't quite know what's going on right now, you need to check out the video because one of our previous and frequent guests, Teddy, is right behind Travis in frame.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Standing right behind me, isn't he? Yeah.
Is that a Forsaken shirt?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Teddy, what up, bro? What's going
up,
on?
Teddy? How you doing?
How are we doing?
We got a
Teddy is here because how you doing, Teddy?
Get cold. Family.
Teddy
you may as well sit in each other's laps at this point. So. All right. Well, the video may look like crap, but we'll make it work.
We're seeing Fast and Furious in a theater that I rented out tomorrow night.
Nice.
All of IGN is going to be there. Teddy's coming. It's going to be a good time. And he also helped me build my brand new gaming PC, which is sitting in the other room, raring to go.
Tech Guru. That's my guy. Tech
Teddy,
Guru.
say hi to our lovely co-host.
I sensed Travis was going to talk shit on Triumph, so I showed up.
He just knew. He knew instinctively.
There was a disturbance in the force.
There was a disturbance in the force. Good to hear from you, brother. Good to see you, my man. No doubt. Congratulations on the ring. Got that with that 4090 thing going on. What we doing?
4090, 13900K. Would you go 32,
what we
64
doing?
gig of
On the
DDR5?
specs, my boy.
Tell them the
I
specs.
mean, I'm probably halfway there.
7950 XD, 4090, 64 gigs of RAM. I don't know the DDR5. I don't know the megahertz, and then 2 terabyte PCI 5.0, PCI
Flex.
10 5.0.
Nice.
Okay.
Barely can't even use the 5.0, but it's nice to have it.
Yeah,
Nice.
nothing saturates it, but Travis has a big wallet, so
Yep.
Yeah.
You're like, just buy me the fanciest thing you can get. Cool.
That's
basically,
right.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So, Reed out Saturday, he said Teddy is like Candyman. Say triumphs are bad 5 times and he shows up.
Wait, I say triumphs are bad though.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. He
Sounds like-
agrees with you.
Yes.
No doubt. But yeah, other than that, I'm sorry, Trav, you finished your story as far as your travels and besides.
Oh no, I just it was just a foil to summon Teddy here. I'm doing a lot, guys. I reviewed Outlast Trials. That review went live today. If you guys are wondering about what that's like in early access, I put a ton of time into that a week ago, and I'm currently previewing 6 games. Writing dozens of news articles about D&D that aren't live yet, but I'll be able to talk about them soon. And yeah, I'm probably the busiest I've ever been. In my time
it
here.
sounds like it.
Insane.
Make sure you get like an hour of sleep a day in there somewhere.
The fact that I'm here at all when I have Diablo right here in front of me and I've not done reviewing it yet
is a testament.
Tell you a lot about how I love you.
Yes.
And let's also make this.
I do want to play
Humanity.
Humanity.
He's like, and let's hurry up. I'll make mine quick. Haven't done as much as Travis because he's doing way too much. But Tears of the Kingdom has arrived and is stealing time away.
Nice.
How did I forget that?
Yeah.
How did I forget to mention that game?
Did you beat it already, or did you?
Yeah, Trav, did you beat it?
No.
I was about to say you're a beast.
I played it. I did not have early access, so I played it when it came out for everybody else. I happened to be on a plane when that game came out. I looked at the clock. I was like, "It's 9. I can play now." I played it on plane. And I was giggling like a 10-year-old boy on the plane
so
openly.
hilarious.
It was so like that opening 3 hours is a 3-hour flight. And the opening was so perfect for me. I was just like, dude, this game is going to be amazing. And so I've been sneaking in moments to play it, but I haven't had enough time. I'm like maybe less than 10 hours into it. Teddy is 40 hours into it. He's at max stamina. He's like almost at max hearts. He's insane. You did
the water temples, you did the wind temples and all that?
So I have not done any temples. I basically only did like introductory story stuff, and then when it gives you the quest to go to each of the temples, I stopped and was like, I'm just gonna explore.
Just do the shrines and see what happens.
Yeah, it's the same methodology I use for Breath of the Wild, and I'm max stamina. I'm about halfway done with the hearts, and now I'm just shrine hunting and doing a bunch of quests. And the game's really good.
Yeah, the sense of adventure is amazing. It is. The sandbox is just. Right. Oh my god, it's insane! But
the Twitter clips have been hilarious. So
clips are hilarious.
It's kind of
amazing. I'll keep it short. It's been that Midnight Suns DLC. I finished all that. The Storm one just came out. Was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, that'll probably end my Destiny vacation until next week because we got this game to talk about, man.
Yeah.
We got some stuff. A lot of things we missed out. A lot of updates. Well, I'm excited. But let's see what we got to talk about, man.
Yeah.
Preview excited.
Stand up. I'm a bunch of shit out today. I'm feeling good.
I know you just got to know what Cog's podcast he's on, whether it's Tekken, on the Finding Duke, or depending on what he's on, just check out his shirt.
Shirt will tell you how I'm feeling.
So I know Guardian Games is still going. Titans won, so you guys can just give up. You're done. Go home.
Rest in peace.
We got a 9-second teaser for Season of the Deep. Has Sloane calling out, and then we have like a shot of the ocean floor, basically. Yeah,
Season of the Shell.
Oh yeah, no, the taken arm. We don't know what's going on with her taken arm, taken leg. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's been through some stuff. So we're gonna figure that out on Tuesday. Honestly, usually when they drop a teaser, they do a trailer the next day, but the teaser was like Thursday, and then we're like nothing all week, so it's probably just gonna be Monday, maybe, or Tuesday, one of the two. So maybe Monday morning, maybe Tuesday during maintenance. Are you guys excited before we get into like sandbox changes and stuff? Are you guys excited to go back to Titan, see what's up with Sloane, walk on the ocean floor, drown as a guardian, basics?
Eddie?
I can't wait for my foot to touch water and my guardian just dies.
No doubt, no doubt.
No, I'm not really excited because I think the things that they're going to explain should have been part of Lightfall, and now they're just going to elongate it over a year. So I hate to be Debbie Downer, but I'm sure there'll be some gameplay loop or something, and I'm gonna play because I have to get the triumphs. But yeah, I'm just kind of over Destiny, and I really don't want to deal with it more.
I wonder why. I wonder if it's like maybe too much of a good thing is a terrible thing.
Burnout, maybe. Yeah.
You couldn't have done every triumph for 9 years, you freaking weirdo.
Yeah. I mean, it's self-inflicted. So,
yeah.
Travis, what about you? Where are you at on Season of the Deep? I don't even know your barometer on this one.
My barometer is great. I never let Destiny hurt me because I expect so little from it.
Jesus.
And real talk. I don't really have any expectations of Season of the Deep. To me, it's just going to be another season in Destiny. And if I'm pleasantly surprised in any way, whether it's the activity they have us doing or the story, that's a win in my book. Because my current expectations are seasonal activity I don't like to do, story that is underwhelming. All the stuff we're dealing with this season, for example. So I would love it if any of those things weren't true next season. I will be considered. I won't be happy, but I'll be. Am I ever really happy? Is that attainable?
No,
Teddy, can you confirm? Is he happy?
Have you ever seen me happy?
No, he's not.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow when we're watching Fast and Furious.
That's probably
maybe that'll be
that mediocre movie will do it for you. Yeah.
How dare you?
I'm just quoting the IGN review.
IGN review is fair, and also, they're
ridiculous popcorn flicks. I know exactly what I'm going into. I'm not.
Fast and Furious has actually never. Any of the movies have been received well by critics, which is actually kind of surprising to me because some of them are legitimately good movies. You're telling me the first movie is a 50, like it's a 52 or something on Metacritic. It's like way low, and I'm like, bruh, that movie was sick, actually. Anyway,
there's the audience for it.
Yeah, they're fun. Like they're fun. I mean, after it was like 5. I was like, all right, I'm here for the fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's over the top ridiculous.
Yeah. What about you, Cog? Were you at just like 30,000 foot looking, peeking over the edge? Where you at?
Like the locale. Way excited about all the sandbox updates and stuff we're going to get into. I think all the updates seem more massive than right now because we really know little about the story. So, to Travis' point, I'm not going to get super crazy like, but I thought it's interesting, Titan, and what has happened. I'm very curious to see why Sloan has taken arm and obviously the Hive history with what's been going on in that ocean and, potential Hive gods or what have you. So I'm very curious about like what Teddy said, which is the continuation of probably what we should have gotten, in Nightfall. So that kind of stuff excites. I do like the aesthetic, though. I must admit, I do like this little Poseidon-y, thing going on. I'm about that action. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you, E? Where are you at?
I get a dungeon. I mean,
yes, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, like Friday is dungeon day. Be streaming that, making my guides, doing all those things. Those are fun. No, the one thing I was gonna say is when it comes to seasons, Chosen, Lost, Haunted, Seraph, all the same team. This is that same team.
Let's go.
And
I'm ready.
This is Tom's team. So
let's go. I'm ready.
Just by those metrics alone, I feel I gotta give it a little more. And again, it's the season, like the seasons with the expansion, they may be like big or small, but they're usually not quite as much because you're going with an expansion, so they're trying not to like outshine it. So the next one usually is a little more, but also this is the one where we don't have to level.
Yes, good point.
We don't have a war table grid.
Right.
So I'm just curious to see how they handle that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a 6-player or a 3-player match-made activity of, whatever things and maybe some currency, but I'm just curious how much they change, how much they had time to change, and then season 22 would be more. But I don't know. I think the armor actually looks kind of cool with the jellyfish looking things. I'm trying to decide, but it looks kind of cool. But overall, yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously leaning into like could be fun. But yeah, I mean, I get a dungeon, so I'm biased.
Yeah, you're good. Now for you.
Yeah.
And I get so many build and quality of life changes, I'm not gonna know what to do with myself. So
yeah.
that's where I play Destiny right now.
Yep.
So those last 2 seasons have been great for me because I get to do all this build crafting. It's been awesome. So, but I understand for everyone else.
So, speaking of actual builds and exotics and all that stuff, we can start with the armor because last week on Wednesday, we got one of our Wednesday TWABs, and it was all about exotic armor. Like, I think they're 24, 25, something like that. A lot of them, 28 maybe, I feel like they said at some point. What stands out to you guys the most in exotic armor changes? And then we can kind of hit some of the other ones. But for, I mean, Cog, you're build guy, Warlock. So you happy, excited? You like nerfed? Are you like seeing different light? Where are you at?
If I recall, off the top, Vesper of Radius is exciting me. I'm starting to see some potential there with the shockwaves, using it with other things. The changes that they're going to be doing that is going to be crazy. Obviously, rest in peace, Starfire Protocol.
Yeah, Starfire died.
We knew, baby. It was a good run. We knew it was coming. Look, it's still going to be good. It's just not going to be as ridiculous as getting a fusion grenade instantly after doing stuff. But it's so much. It's so much to these armor pieces. Oh, chromatic fire. Got my eye on that. Yeah, a lot of changes per subclass, especially now with the Strand changes as well. You know, additions and stuff like that. They're really leaning into that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a bunch that I have my eye on, but those 2 in particular, I would say I'm the most excited about on the Warlock side.
Yeah, I would say chromatic caught my eye. Yeah, I mean Starfire just got taken out and buried. It did. It was rough. Like Ophidian aspect, the melee range, that's like a tech thing.
Yeah.
They're doing quite a few, and there's a couple other ones that had happened. The Mantle of Battle Harmony. There's all these like weapons bonus, tier 4 damage, and they're kind of all having, there's a few that have that similar effect to them. That's kind of one of the things that they seem to be normalizing, which isn't unique for exotics, but I guess they kind of gave one to each class.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the main ones I think I saw for Warlock. Like Dawn Course is going to be scorched, kind of thing, like that stuff. So.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Cool changes.
All right, what are you? I was like, Eddie's a Warlock, right?
Yeah, he's Warlock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything yay, nay for you? I mean, I know your Starfire died, but is there anything we're not mentioning that we should?
I read that like a week ago and already forgot most of the changes.
That's totally fair.
So,
totally fair. You're the guest.
I remember a lot of the exotics weren't. I mean, vaguely, I remember some of the buffs were interesting, but most of the exotics are pretty underused exotics. So unless something pops out overwhelmingly, I'm just gonna switch to Sunbracers, and that'll be the new Starfire.
Ooh, Sunbracers is gonna be sick.
Heard that's gonna be spicy.
Unless Starfire is still good, which is very possible. It seems like the changes to Starfire are just gonna make it so it's not a boss DPS mechanic.
Exactly.
It's just an add clear mechanic, which that's fine.
Yeah, you got to get kills as opposed to what just like hits. Basically,
I tend to only make builds when there's a new raid, and then I just stick with that build for most of the year, unless I need something hyper specific for like a solo thing or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I'm over reading stuff. Like I just need to experience it.
Yeah,
in the game.
Fair
enough.
Hunters,
what
did
about
you guys?
Hunters?
I was gonna say we'll get the Titans last for Travis and I, but Hunters. Anybody in chat excited about anything about Hunters? Sad about anything? Granted, I know Stompy's a lot of people were not thrilled about. That was the big one. It is interesting to hear the debate on that though, because like the reasoning that they give for the change to Hunters is like they're like people can't track like looking up,
right?
And then it's you only gain increased speed, slide distance, and improved jumping while your dodge is full. So if you use your dodge, which you can get it back quickly as a hunter, I get that, but yeah, now it's like your exotic isn't active if you use your class ability, which is kind of weird because it's based on just your basic like movement, which is what it's for. The other ones that like sprint speed, movement, stuff like that don't have the same functionality. But it's the function that they give. It's like they put in what I saw in a debate, and let me know if you guys think this is yay, nay, whatever. It was the skill-based matchmaking that got put in. People hate it, people love it, it's fine. But it's there, so there should be some possible like separation between all these skill levels, which is not a bad thing. But then if you put something in here where it's like, you know, low-skilled people can't look up on controllers, which they mention or whatever, everybody was like, oh no, I can't look up. You got to nerf an exotic or something. It was just if you're going to play in the high skill bracket, you got to know verticality is going to be a thing. High skilled people typically have good mobility and play the vertical. So if skill-based matchmaking is in there and your reasoning is for having issues with the verticality, why are you nerfing this exotic? That was kind of the debate that I saw going on for a lot of PvP players, and it seemed a fair argument. So I think they've just, this is kind of one of those where it was the question of like, are they just kind of bringing the skill ceiling down? Is that something you guys worry about actually happening long-term for PvP or PvE, where they just kind of keep squishing us into everybody's about the same?
Where you at with that?
It certainly seems like that's their goal. I mean, I'm just looking at the stuff they've done to the competitive landscape in Destiny over the past 2 to 3 years, and everything tells me that they don't want it to have a competitive landscape. Really, they want it to be a casual game, which is fine. It is a casual shooter with a dedicated but not especially sweaty competitive scene. You know, it's not like there's tournaments, you know, that draw 1 million audience members like some of the other shooter games out there. I think maybe it's because they're making way for this other Destiny game or other Bungie game.
We're gonna talk about it. Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
That's the one that all the surveys have been going out for, right?
It's the one that all the heads of Bungie left to go work on a couple years ago. Like that's
you're like, Lars was like one of the guys in the Vidoc is like, where's Lars? At Bungie. And you're like, huh. All right.
Yeah. See, Ted, you agree that maybe that the PvP landscape is shifting towards that direction?
My opinions on this are hyper complex, and I will not be divulging them publicly.
Ooh, NDA dude. Moving on. Yeah, I don't got too much to add on it. Just yeah, it's a fair debate. I think so. I think that it's clear, especially when we get to the trials changes, that they're shifting. You know, when I see, even though I'm jumping ahead, when I see elimination eliminated, literally,
going to
then
Dominion, which I don't even. We talked about this before, and I was like, I don't remember Dominion being a thing that was advertised. And if a capture point's involved, you just change the way that whole thing plays because certain supers and everything with those get to be really overbearing.
Right. It changes the entire culture of that competitive mode. So it's something else. And then I'm skipping ahead, but you know what they'll do with what they're doing with the Mercy situation is also kind of a indicator that it's definitely casualized. There's no doubt about
it. Titans point contact brace. I still don't think I will give it a shot, but I still don't think it's going to be good enough just because I don't like the way you have to stand still with melee. Especially, did you like
exotics?
Do what? No, we're getting there right now.
Are there any good Titan exotics?
No backup plans is the one everybody's very curious about. So this is a complete rework, replacing the old functionality entirely. Now provides a moderate benefit to the airborne effectiveness, which doesn't matter, and reload speed of shotguns. While you have a void overshield, shotguns deal additional damage, and shotgun final blows refresh your overshield. While using a void subclass, rapid shotgun final blows or defeating a powerful enemy with a shotgun grants you a void overshield and kicks off your health regeneration. So if you're going to be up in the mix with a shotgun, PvP or PvE, seems like this thing's going to give you overshield forever kind of thing. The ugliest exotic, Eternal Warrior, is getting that like bonus to escalating arc damage with more kills, get you more damage, stacking and stuff like that. Capri's Horn is going to Scorch, which it's just like a weaker Strand exotic boots. Dune Marchers, less damage in PvP and less range, so those should be a little less oppressive for all the punchy Titans. I'm trying to think if there's anything else major. Stronghold is getting a bit of a rework for blocking with swords. They, you know, when you stop blocking, you gain 2 times restoration. So if you're in the mix with a sword and you get that 2 times, we know 2 times restoration strong from solar season.
Oh yeah.
So that should be, I don't know if it's going to be amazing, but like the perfectly timed block to get something was never a mechanic that anybody really leaned into. So you get more like damage reduction while holding it and then healing. Got potential where you could actually use that one to play a sword build maybe in PvE, but still risky in anything high level. It's not like I'm going to go running with a sword on a Grandmaster and get smashed in the head, but most of the time. So if I missed any exotics, let me know in chat. Overall, I think they're generally pretty good though. Like, I mean, trying to give the underutilized exotics some love, but overall, not a ton that I'm like all 28 of these are amazing. I don't see them that way. I know they're not going to make them crazy, so it's still we have a lot of exotics. I guess they can't like go crazy with all of them, but all in all, so weapon changes also happened. Weapons and exotics. Now I know this is where you get into your stuff. Do you want to talk about anything specific to start for weapons? Did anything get you excited?
I mean, he got that graviton looking nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff here that they're really changing out. I mean, honestly, that there was two more. The one that I was actually a little disappointed was actually Manticore. I didn't feel that was that great, but Eyes of Tomorrow, people sleeping.
No,
that rock is good now since the last buff it got. When you kill people for, you get the adaptive ordnance, you do more damage. Now with this getting more ammo after a 4-kill volley thing, that's going to be really big. So I like that especially for a raid exotic, especially how hard, as Travis knows, it was to get said exotic. I want to see that really perform well. So I think it's underrated. But the ones for me is Eyes of Tomorrow. That there was one more besides that Jade Rabbit. It was one more. Sweet Business with the
that doesn't sound that exciting. Now fires explosive rounds every 20 shots. I'm like,
you feeling that?
Do you think that's going to do that much? I'm reading it and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. Is it like explosive payload where it gets a little more? Are we talking like a grenade explosion every 20 rounds? I don't know what that means.
We got to see it. Yeah, we got to see what the.
But I don't want to get excited on something like that, because if it's just like explosive payload where it like kind of hits that little extra damage twice without range, that doesn't really do a whole lot for me. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm missing something.
It's explosions. So I was wondering
explosive rounds, but so what would that be to you?
I was thinking maybe some baby AoE, but
I mean, are you thinking like a Jotun hit, kind of?
More like a baby. Maybe I'm getting too gassed, like a baby Firefly kind of thing.
Just for a hit?
Just like an explosion.
Okay. I mean, if it's like if it does that and you're just mowing stuff down, could be interesting. But that's what I was like. I read it and I'm going, maybe I'm missing something, but I'm with you. I need to see it to know, because it could be small. Anything else get you excited, Cog?
Yes. No Time to Explain is going to be stupid with the what you call it doing
the drone.
It's going to be able to, the drone's going to do anti-barrier piercing damage.
Yep.
That's going to be crazy. Tommy's matchbook is going to be crazy with the extra scorch stacks, and then kind of protecting yourself on that. There's a bunch that got there's a bunch that got some love. Only thing that sadly my raid dudes, Thunderlord, man. So bug, everybody was using Thunderlord in the raid. There was a reason why it worked so well with Divinity, and now we know. And now the nerf is going. So, yeah, I would say rest in peace to it, but it's not going to be the DPS king in that raid the way it was. Those are ones for me.
Travis, is there anything exotic weapons this week that you saw that you might have to pull out of the vault, or is anything that you even get a blip on the radar?
Not really. Honestly, they've been patching stuff so frequently and quickly, and then changing it, like just when you start to get used to it, they change it again, that I've kind of just like listening to you guys talking, my eyes are just like glossing over. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's just noise. Like every week there's going to be new changes, and it's going to change some other stuff, and it's like I'm exhausted by the constant changes, because I feel like patches used to be pretty rare, right? Like the number of different times that they were changing the meta as much as they are now, and now it's like happening so quickly that to me it's like it's just sort of nothing to me. Like I don't freak out anymore when things get nerfed. I'm like, whatever. I'm sure there'll be something next week that replaces it or whatever. And the weapons in particular, like I never really have played toward the meta anyway. So it's like when they say, oh, they're patching the super strong gun, I'm like, word? Oh, I didn't even know that was strong. I'm like, that's kind of how I experience the world. Yeah, I'm just using whatever. So And I think that's probably how most Destiny players feel. Like the ones who aren't hardcore, they probably they don't even hear about the patches, right? So to them, they're like, imagine if you didn't read the TWAB as a Destiny player and you were like using some random gun and then you're like, why does this gun suck now? Like just like crazy stuff like that or exotics. And unless you play multiplayer and know a guy in party who reads the TWAB and knows what's up, you're just completely at a loss. So anyway, I've honestly just been skipping over a lot of the patch stuff in TWABs because I'm like, yeah, more of this stuff. They're tweaking things. I got it. Yep. Changing things sounds
No
good.
guns excite you? Your no favorite guns that you use that you like, all right, it's one of my babies. Gonna get a little love. Nothing.
I can't think of one, honestly, because the only exotics I use COG are the ones I'm trying to get the catalyst for. I'm still trying to finish the catalyst on that floating submachine gun, the one that makes you float from two seasons ago, because that gun is so unpleasant to use, but I've had it locked in its slot because I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a couple kills with you, and eventually you're going to be leveled up. It's I don't even get to use the loadout I want anymore. So like, what's the point in looking at the buff? So
you're a better man than me. I was like, I am not doing that. I was like, man, I'm not that excited.
I'm just a little jaded by the constant retuning to this point where it just kind of doesn't even affect me anymore. So yeah, maybe that's just a side effect of feeling like you haven't really played toward the perfect meta, because people obsess over this stuff and they're like, it's got to be perfect. And I'm like, guys, Destiny's easy. Who is this for? Why are you trying to min-max? You can beat any activity with the worst loadout. Why are you min-maxing? Like, actually. So I have a hard time with people who focus that much on their loadout.
I love it. It's great.
I know.
Eddie, are you in the same boat?
Generally speaking, I just wait for whatever the scientists behind the scenes figure out as the best weapon optimization with armor, and then I just put that on and use it because that's the fastest
optimal.
Optimal. I don't want to waste my time. I don't care. I have every gun. I have everything.
All right, so Dado and Cross's DPS top. All right, picking that. Lock it into a loadout.
Lock it in. Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
what he's doing.
No, yeah, I mean, as I still don't have it. Seems kind of cool just with actually refunding ammo. So if you were going to use it for just like add clear in a room or something, that would definitely have some potential. I haven't used it, so I don't know how good it would be, but considering Graviton Lance, I'll be curious how it feels. I mean, Revision 0 feels pretty good. So if it's similar to that feel, Mana Core, it's just I don't know if anybody's ever going to try and float around because you're just a sitting duck in the air. So just like kill me now. World Line 0, I'm sure will be exciting for some people, but I don't know if that's still one that I'm usually going to pull out. Legend of Acreus, I thought you might have actually mentioned that one because that's getting that buff to ammo and then the projectile distance, so the thing will just blast things.
The crazy thing is, it was buffed to Travis' point. It was buffed recently. It's sick now.
Yeah.
Like with the trench barrel and the extra ammo. So I was surprised it's like they are really encouraging underutilized exotics. Like they're
trying.
They're like, yo, bro, this is hot. Get on this. And I'm like, bro, I knew about it. It was hot the last time you buffed it. So I'm like, great for me. Let them keep sleeping on it because that thing is crazy. It's crazy good.
I've always liked that gun.
Which one?
I like what is it called? I almost said Edge Transit. Why did that name pop into my head?
Old grenade launcher. Because you got 100 of them. It's burned into everything.
Yeah. What is the shock? Acurus. Yeah. I've always liked that one because I like when they put weapons in slots that don't belong there. Shotgun in a heavy slot, bow in a heavy slot. That stuff is, or the opposite, where they'll take like a heavy grenade launcher and make it a primary or whatever. I also miss No
Man's Sky.
Nope.
Sorry. No Land Beyond.
No Man's Sky's a video. No Land Beyond. Thank
you.
No
Land Beyond. I was never.
No Land Beyond was great. It was a sniper rifle that used primary ammo in the primary slot.
Just put Icebreaker back in the game. Everything.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Toxic.
Dude, I think about that all the time because oh my God, that gun was. That was maybe the best gun I've ever used in any video game.
For the people that are going to take this seriously and tweet at me.
No, but you should actually put it in the game. The game's broken already. It's already broken. Just throw a good gun in there. At least that'll be fun.
Just break up the sandbox. Who cares?
Break it. Who cares?
You was about to talk about. You was about to talk about that grip.
Salvation's grip. They're trying, man. They're trying to rebuild this thing. So it's gonna have 2 firing modes. Excuse me. A charge shot.
Somebody get this guy some more nose surgery.
Oh damn.
So you're going to have a charge shot that creates a pattern of stasis crystals where the number is no longer based on time. So I don't know if it's going to be like a circle, a line, or whatever. And then the uncharged shot is a normal grenade launcher shot. So you'll actually be able to use it as normal grenade launcher. And it will do more damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. So if you lean to do a stasis build, I would be curious if somebody could get used out of it. Because then if you go uncharged, you're just chunking grenades like normal. Because grenades, they keep trying to buff those up as well. Because they got like 20% recently. I don't know if it's going to be amazing, but I'm sure somebody could find a fun use in stasis build. It does seem like it's not going to be completely terrible. So it has a little hope. And apparently Bad Juju had the recoil of an auto rifle. So that actually explains a lot because that always never felt good to use. Fighting Lion's going to get fixed. Thunderlord's not going to have the divinity buff. And let's see, Skyburners does more scorch stacks. Yeah, and I'm still not going to burn myself to death with Tommy's matchbook.
Sleep on it. I think it might have some functionality, but we'll see.
Yeah. A couple perks. Nothing too crazy there.
I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, the Immortal. That one's being brought back in line as well. So bringing the base range value down by 10. Also the aggressive submachine guns base damage down by 1. So if you're accurate with your crits, you'll still probably be pretty good, but it's definitely not going to be giving you quite as much help as it was. And snipers are getting plus 10%. So again, if you need like a backup weapon, you got a legendary. I still think Cloud Strike as a backup DPS weapon still has a lot of potential.
And Rapids are going to get all that ammo.
Extra ammo.
So
Yep. Crazy, Oh yeah, it has like 37 or something. If you put double reserves on or something, it's ridiculous how much ammo that thing can have. I think that's anything else on the weapons. I know I'm kind of skimming some of this quick, but it's a later than normal podcast. I'm trying to make sure. Yeah. And then Travis has got to go review 8,000 hours of Diablo in 1 week, so it's fine.
10 days, actually. Well, actually 9 because I was in LA yesterday. It was the worst timing for that trip.
So we've got ability tuning, exotic armor tuning, exotic weapons, quality of life stuff. You got the currencies getting fixed, Good Boy Protocol coming back, Crucible update, which kind of ups and downs to that one. The new Strand aspects. Thoughts on those? Warlock first.
Likey. Throw the ball.
You like the Wanderer? So now you can do your suspend.
Yep. It's going to finally pair well. I've kind of fell out of love with the, what was the Strand boots? I forgot the name of them. I forget. What'd you say?
Threadlings.
Threadlings, yeah. Like, it was cool, but I'm like, yeah, you kill someone, you create a ball, but I'm like, without the artifact, with the artifact stuff going away with the explosions, I'm like, well, how is it really going to be useful now with this actual aspect? Throw the ball, suspend, which is super powerful against champions and whoever, tormentors, and then now you get the other thing. So I'm gonna find usage for those boots. I'm excited for that. So yeah, I like what we have. So what about the Titan delegation? I saw some arms and throwing and things.
Looks better than I thought. I wasn't very sold on it by description because it's another one of those like slide into a melee thing. But if you slide and you do the melee, it pulls you up in the air and you got a little pulse to push everything back. But he throws like 5 or 6 chunks of these needles out there. It was a lot more than I expected. Now, granted, my like kind of wide, just suspend the entire room, like three lash exotic is still
why would you ever take those boots
I was like, you just everything in a cone in front of you is suspended. I'm like, it's hard to give that one up. But if I feel like I'm running the bolo grenade, because I typically don't run grapple on Strand if I'm going PvE, it just doesn't. I don't need it.
I'll run this. You run the shackle.
Grenade.
Yeah, he did say bolo. I like that.
Like a bolo tie.
No, it's the thing where you throw it and like catches up with somebody's feet. Anyway, that's what I've heard other people call it. Apparently, it's stuck in my head. Shackle grenade. Yes. I typically run with that, and then just between that and then running in front of me and usually getting my grenade back fast enough, I might actually use these as a bit more of a ranged offense alternative, just because, like, I mean, the 3 is fine, but I'm usually like able to focus enough up. I can usually line it up and throw a grenade. So they actually, I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sold at first, but I was pleasantly surprised. The hunter one though, man, I will say for hunters in PvE, that between invisibility and now like having a decoy, that looks pretty cool. And then it explodes and then sends like threadlings out afterwards. That's going to be a really nice, going to be kind of one of those oh crap moments, and panic dodge, kind of save my butt, please.
And I don't correct me if I'm wrong. Did hunters have threadling anything before? I don't recall.
I think that was mostly you guys.
Yeah, I felt like we had it, so it's cool to see
Yeah.
them have a little
Yeah.
something of ours because normally the threadlings was kind of
Yeah, so they're kind of
a warlock exclusive.
Yeah, they're kind of mixing and matching because this is our
Yeah.
we get a ranged melee, they get threadlings, and you get suspend
You
more.
could get threadlings. Like I get threadlings for some reason when I use finishers on people.
Yeah, you can. That's part of the artifact. Well,
Oh, as far as the
Yeah.
grapple, right? When you do the okay.
No, when you do
Interesting.
melee finishers.
Oh, melee finish. Oh, that's right. There's
It's one of the
there's an
aspects.
aspect. Yes, you're correct. You're
Mm,
absolutely right.
okay,
There is an
yeah.
aspect for that.
So there's ways to get all the stuff. It's just that none of it appeals to me because suspend is so damn good. So
Suspend is
that's my
powerful.
that's my
So
problem with all of these that don't do suspend. Like I'm glad warlocks are getting a suspend power, but like
Yeah.
the Titan boots are a better version of the warlock one they've created because they go out indefinitely and they suspend everything, and it's just like
Yeah. Complete room
I'm just
control.
gonna use that, bro.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna use that, bro. I feel like efficiency.
Fragment. Somebody pointed
Yeah.
out it's a fragment. Yeah.
Correct.
I always get aspects and fragments.
Me too.
Those are,
Yeah.
first of all, those are synonyms. Just to be clear, it's the same word. They just wanted it to be called something different because it has a different purpose. But like, those are the same thing.
No
I love that
doubt.
Teddy's falling asleep behind me. Look at this.
I
He
love
looks like
it.
he is.
Huh?
Teddy's hurting. Teddy's hurting.
He's like,
It's gonna be a
he's like-
speed podcast tonight.
he's
'cause I'm
becoming
late.
one with
So,
destiny right now.
yeah.
Oh, damn.
He's just like
So
sorry,
there's
transcending
some
into the servers.
there's some PvP
I am
concerns from the Titans. People are worried
About
about that new aspect for
radar.
that fragment.
I mean, basically, it's the idea if you leave that decoy, it's going to show up as a radar ping. Well, the poison, the like,
Already
little
does
like
that,
smoke grenade does that already, which is already frustrating. I'm like, where the hell? I'm like, grenade.
Grenade.
But yeah, if the decoy's there, man, if you leave that around a corner and you just pop into an explosion, then the threadling chases you, there are going to be some tight hallway, like oops moments, I'm sure. Just leave that around a corner, bam. Because it's going to have a little proximity to it if it looks like in the video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
If you
how many
aim the
times I-
decoy, it shows the nameplate. Oh man, that's gonna be messy. That'll be interesting. Yeah, hunters are the PvP class in case that's not clear. We do have a pretty much full artifact preview. You got your champion weapons. We do have trace rifles on the board for a change. Kind of surprised. Overload scouts. Go grab your Taraxipos or your hung juries with like kinetic trimmers. If you got one of those, that'll be good.
I got the midnight one, not the hung,
Nameless
the
Midnight,
nameless
yeah.
midnight version of that. Mm-hmm.
The only anti-barrier is auto rifles.
Woo.
By the way,
Yes.
all midnights are nameless.
Thank you for your
From,
contributions.
It was like one of my dogs is named Midnight, so that's not true.
Name one named midnight.
Ooh. Thank you for your contribution. So autos.
Yeah, autos are going to be your anti-barrier.
Night coup.
Thoughts?
Oh, wait, say that.
The midnight coup.
Ooh.
I'm going to get my
Midnight.
4th times target lock Lodbrok. Just hit him all the way with 98 range, by the way, on that thing. So if I need an auto rifle, I've got that covered.
Trying to dust off what was that? What was the one from the Grandmaster? That was a 600. Damn it. It was good. It
Auto?
was good.
Like, which slot?
Yeah.
Kinetic or energy?
Believe it was a kinetic. Duty bound.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't love that
You say
one. Yeah,
What is
well,
it?
the adept would be from there.
I think some of Ebontis' relatives are grandmasters.
I don't even know what.
I
Now I
didn't
do.
know
I got there. You sir, are gonna
I don't
get
even
kicked
know what
off
to
of
do
this
with him.
call.
He's out of pocket.
Yeah, I think he's just
He's
like, get me on
wild out of
Diablo
pocket.
now, and
Yeah, he's like,
I'm sorry.
he's like, I gotta go, guys.
hanging with
That was,
my
I gotta go, guys.
he's literally playing Diablo right now and throwing in one-liners to get me canceled. Beautiful. You want to know? I have a duty bound though that is hilarious because it's triple tap and 4th times.
Ooh.
It just never runs out of bullets.
Yeah, Zinto says Shadow Price. Yeah, 720 is gonna go hard. I agree.
Yeah, so go look at your auto rifles if you need one.
Yeah,
Traces will be interesting, but I think the
Oh,
scouts are
Rufus.
probably...
I got Rufus. I'm fine. I ain't worried
The
about
only thing
this.
I thought about with traces were
Mhm.
because what's the stasis one?
The Aegis of that's my baby.
But that already does it. That already does overloads because it'll slow them, it'll freeze them. It already does that right now.
Intrinsically?
Well, if stasis slows or freezes.
Stasis slows. Yeah, correct. You're right. The effect. Correct,
but I was thinking Cold Heart, because if you look at all these Arc build mods, Cold Heart could actually be fun if you got Ionic Traces coming for somebody like you, especially. So
yeah, for sure.
I think that could be a fun one.
That legendary one from 2 Seasons of the Plunder. I forgot the name of it.
Is it Volt
Shotted? The one that got Volt Shot on it. That one is sick. That's gonna be good. And
Champions will field champions or champions. Unstoppable hand cannon. I'm like, well, it's just like a hand cannon in PvE right now. I'm like, I have other ways to take care of champions.
No, but Sunshot is sick though right now.
Sunshot is crazy. I haven't used that in ages.
Yeah, G-Mon is on. G-Mon has got a video that's crazy with Sunshot right now, Scorch.
Other than that, let's see, Unraveling, you'll increase damage. Basically, they're going into Arc and Void. If you're going Void, it's going to be all about Void breaches. If it's Arc and you can get amplified, you will be damage resistant, doing more damage. You've got Arc. After throwing an Arc Grenade, Lightning Strikes twice as back. Gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc Final Blows increase grenade the duration. So then if you just throw an Arc Grenade, you get some Arc kills. If you go now that we can actually go full one type of build, I think Arc will be fun. It's going to be a little more offensive, but fun. Anything you see in there that got you excited? Because I think the other 2 people in this podcast are like, I want to go watch Fast and Furious and play Diablo.
Yeah, they're ready. They're ready. So we're going to speed up. Look, there's a lot. I would say it is leaning a lot of Arc, some Void stuff, but yeah, just the ones you mentioned. That and it was one. Obviously, which one?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
It's not that we're distracted or want to play Diablo. It's that when Teddy and I are together, we talk about Destiny all the time.
So it's like.
So you're good. You've done this already.
Yeah, we've been talking about this since he got here yesterday, and we've talked about it so much we've arrived at the conclusion, like, yeah, this game sucks. Like we're just in one of those moods. So we're like, we've gone like full circle to just like not liking Destiny.
You talked yourself out of it.
Every Destiny fan hates Destiny at least 20% of the time. I think that's the minimum. You know what I mean? And so we're just one of those things where we like talked it out and we just arrived at like, yeah, you know what? F that game. You're not going to think about it for a little while. And then we're like, well, now let's go do the last word.
There you go. Yep. We got you guys on a great time.
A long time today.
Messy. I love it.
But yeah, so like Arc is going to be all about, getting amplified, stay longer to be amplified, do more damage, throwing grenades, have that duration going. And then in Void, it's pick up a Void Breach, causes your next source of Void damage to create a large weakening pulse, and then picking up a Void Breach grants you an overshield, or refreshes your overshield, and then defeating a Void debuff target, which you can do with that weakening pulse, creates a Void Breach. So there's your cycle.
Yep, there's a cycle right there.
So
and I'm looking at Collective Obligation very nicely.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Very, as well as Graviton. So it's good. Yeah. You spec into the breaches with an overshield for survivability on top of Devour already. It's going to get
for really you, Devour. Strong. There's the squad goals are kind of interesting, but we'll see how those play out. Thoughts on these shields, guys? I got to know. Where are you at on the new shield design? Teddy, you had an opinion. Yep, go ahead.
He's the UI guy.
Yeah.
It's too spicy for the internet.
Oh.
Woo.
I'm sorry. I said that twice, but yeah, I don't it's fine. They're okay.
They're prominent. I know where Teddy going. I know where Teddy's going.
I mean, I've seen a couple references.
Ebontis gets his 3rd strike. Like, that's not that big of a deal. Let's do it. Throw it out there.
It's it resembles things. And
what does it remind you of? Because I've seen 2 things and I can't unsee either of them right now.
I can't talk about that on your stream, so we could move on.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I've seen Diablo Town portals.
Okay.
And then the game Portal itself.
Yes,
that's what it reminded me of, was the game Portal.
Yeah. It's for what the Vex one specifically, because I feel like that shield kind of looks like some of the shields I feel look like that, like right now. But the Vex one specifically had a Vex look, and I do feel like I understand for like general accessibility, totally fine. I understand that, but it's like if I know not all the shields look the same, but that one specifically was I don't know. That one doesn't look like it's as cool, in my opinion. But if they're going for just universal, easy to understand
Yeah, this
accessibility,
is
I get it.
accessibility.
Yeah,
This is
that's
accessibility
totally.
to new
I was like,
player.
I'm not the one who
Yeah.
should care. If I understand that
Yeah.
it's void, it's void. Whatever.
And honestly, for people with visual impairments, they've been really leaning on what the
I mean, the
auto
accessibility is good.
melee, auto shooting. As this is full accessibility.
Yep. They did mention the stabilizing of some of these like patches that we've had for a while. So they said, however, with new code libraries, we've discovered cases where the background update has put our services into a bad state, and then they got to do some extended maintenance and take it offline. So they said for server patches, again, their choice, their technology, but we're gonna have probably about 90 minutes of downtime for patches now instead of that little 15-minute window. Gonna go back to a little more MMO style with like server patch downtime. Hey, if it works better, I don't care. Take 90 minutes before the reset happens and go.
Look, I want to give them
90
credit.
days.
I want to give them credit. I've been on them as far as this silence. I'm not talking about how unstable the game is, right?
Yeah.
So I want to give on one hand, I want to give credit that finally it's in the TWAB that something's wrong. Where here's some idea of the server state and why we are coming to this conclusion. The only thing I am concerned about is now every reset, it looks like there's going to be downtime of 1.5 hours. So the question,
I guess it would depend. Like this week, we didn't get a patch, but I would imagine with patches, yeah, probably with everyone, even if it's like a hot
I just
fix.
assumed that reset day is now Wednesday.
I mean, that's the
because
safe.
Tuesday gonna be broke.
That's a safe place. That's a safe day for some people to play.
Tuesday's just broken day. Wednesday's the weekly reset.
So I guess the question I have is, with every patch, just outside of the size of it, is it always going to be that downtime?
Probably. It sounds like it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it could be just like a hot fix. Doesn't matter. I mean, unless if it's something where we download a patch, and it's probably a game state thing. And again, Teddy's probably much more well versed on this one. But it sounds like by their description, if it's something where they do they're like background maintenance on Monday, and then Tuesday they do a patch.
Yeah.
Something with whatever they changed for Nightfall, trying to do some things, tends to break stuff in like a game state. So
once I
very uninformed discussion here, but yeah, it sounds like it will.
Yeah, once I hear server state stuff, that's why I was leaning towards Teddy on that part. But that's the part that not that it concerns me, because obviously they're trying to work through whatever this issue is. But I'm just concerned. Okay, so every patch down, we're gonna have this, expected 1.5 hour on update days. This allows us to do our staging and rollout on the same day, and should make the experience more stable and reliable. So interesting.
Teddy, are you about to jump in here?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that Destiny functions, this is like a basic explanation. There's a lot of logic that happens on their servers. So when people say there aren't dedicated servers, that's not technically true. There are, and the game does certain calculations as well as certain networking aspects, that connection between players on a dedicated server. The part of it is peer-to-peer. But that's not what I'm trying to explain here. When they roll out updates, what they do is, so Bungie has servers all around the world, and when they roll out updates, they will usually do it a few days before they have a scheduled update or patch, and they slowly update servers one at a time to make sure everything works. They stagger everything. This is just standard procedure.
Stagger procedure network. Talk that IT talk. Let's go.
And
getting sexy.
Once they've figured out that's okay, then they roll out the patch for the game. And I'm guessing what's been happening over the last year or so with the stability issues is that, and they kind of explained it. It's there's some mismatches that are happening, and that's why people are having these issues, and they have to take everything down, because either they have to roll it back or they have to diagnose the issue and they need the service to come online. And obviously, when you have a live service game, you can't have your product constantly be going offline, because that just creates negativity around your product, and it's loss of money. So I'm glad that they're finally transparent about this after like
that's
2
what
years
I'm saying.
of dealing
Yes,
with it.
But let's get a.
Don't assume that the player base is stupid and give me this like PR explain it the way I just explained it, but in more detail. Like give me it doesn't matter that the players don't understand that, because as long as you're willing to divulge why this is happening on a much more intricate level, people are way more willing to accept this is the issue. The sentiment I'm seeing based on this explanation is people are like, okay, well, fix it. Like, and now
that's what they should say no matter what their explanation.
Well, yeah, but like I get it. Hour and a half gives them a buffer to fix things if anything actually catastrophically goes wrong, which we have seen this happen now a few times over the last few years. But I don't know, I've always had this mindset of like, just don't treat me like I'm a simple.
Don't treat you like a child. So
like,
so
yeah,
just
like, I'm an adult. Like, explain it to me. It's fine.
Just to follow up, Teddy, do you think they should apply the 343 mindset where they're like
Yes.
hyper
Yes.
detailed with
Yes.
what's going on? Okay.
Yes. That studio by far has like one of the best track records for just explaining everything and in a timely manner too. Keep in mind we've been having these issues for almost 2 years, and this is the first
It's the first time they talked about it.
They
I
talked
agree.
about it.
I agree. Good
343
point.
within like a week or two of something catastrophic happening, they're like, all right, here's what happened, here's why it happened, here's what we're doing to fix it, and like here's a timeline that we think we might be able to fix it in. And their communication is just leagues above Bungie.
I
And I'm
agree.
not trying
I
to,
agree.
I'm not trying
No,
to
you're
bash
right.
on Bungie, 'cause they have been a lot better at about communicating things, but I don't know. I'm a little jaded, so like I can read between the PR when I read these TWABs or I read these announcements, and I see the language they're using. That's very it's been edited by like 30 people, and
Of course.
I get it. There's a lot of stuff that behind the scenes that happens, but just
one final
fine.
follow up.
Let the game work. That's all I want. Go ahead.
No, you're on fire. You're on fire. You preaching, brother. One follow up as far as, do you think part of this mindset is because they've been going back and forth with legal and cheats and hacks? Do you think they're secrets? They're being extremely secretive because of what's under the hood to people? Do you think that may play it, or you think this is just they're just not being transparent?
No, they've always been like this because the way they communicate, their communication PR is all about the perception of the game, and so the perception of the game has to be good at all times, because if it's not, then you end up in a situation like D1 or launch D2.
Right.
And so they never want to get to that point ever again. It happened to them multiple times, and they got lucky, and the game survived. So everything they do, everything they say, everything they word, if you like scrutinize it really carefully, is to make sure that players feel good about what they're reading, even though it's like not actually the case oftentimes. That's why things are framed in such a positive manner most of the time. So even though it's like a super negative thing that we're reading, like think about the Destiny content vault, right? It's phrased in a Disney fashion where it's like, oh, it's a content vault, implying that we'll give it back to you at some point, but like you're taking something away from me. That's the extreme example, but they do this often with like nerfs and other things too. If you read the language of a nerf, it's often it's framed positively.
Framed in a positive way.
Even though it's not. So I don't expect everyone to analyze things like that, but I'm not trying to harp on them too much. I get it. It's a business. You got to make sure things are running. But to your point, I'm just happy they acknowledged it. And fine, if the game goes down for an hour and a half every Tuesday, then or every other Tuesday, cool. I don't care. I just don't let me get error coded out when in the middle of a solo activity or something.
Feel you. The only thing I got concerned, is right before dungeon, right before new expansion, they decide that, you know how they do, oh, this came in hot and we got to disable. I'm just curious if that affects this as well.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff is like server side where you can just flick something off and on.
I
Like
hope
that
so. Yeah.
may not be something that affects it as much.
It depends if they're. I doubt anybody at Bungie is making changes to the live game. Maybe that's what a hot fix is, but I think everything goes through staging, because I have some familiarity with this since I played on their staging servers during the on-site reviews. Like
Nice.
they would have like the next expansion in a internal version of the Destiny servers that we would play on, and then we would leave, and then they would override it, so all of our characters would get deleted and all that stuff. And so I've kind of seen how they do this, and also just kind of like Teddy, am a nerd who knows a little bit about the cloud and how this sort of stuff works. But it either way, I think what Teddy said about the players not needing to know the details and just caring about you fixing it is ultimately the correct philosophy. Even if they had a perfectly reasonable explanation that was in depth like 343, it's still an unacceptable state for the game to be in. Like where every week it's getting broken, and it's just like servers are going down and constant disconnects and all that stuff. And I think players should endeavor to not give devs an excuse, because ultimately it is not your problem. It is their problem, and you're the consumer, and they should fix it for you. And if they're not doing that, then you have a right to be upset with them. Doesn't mean you can be rude or threaten anybody, but it's certainly within your right to be upset with them. Regardless of what the problem is, they should be able to overcome it. So I don't know the ins and outs of how they're doing pushing, but I know that their QA process is clearly not thorough enough. And it seems like they agree with us, which is why they got rid of their QA person. And I think that we will see them make a push toward fixing this at some point, but it is very, very much too late, because this has been going on for years, and it's crazy that they're just getting around now to talking about it at all. or just fixing it. Just don't talk about it if you don't want to, but like fix it immediately as soon as you
I
can.
think they got to talk about it though. I mean, it was so long that they act like no one's talking about how bad the state of the game is outside of the player base. I just thought that was interesting. This weird silence.
I think they're afraid to, like Teddy said, I think they're afraid to talk about it at all and admit that there's issues with the game.
Right. Or possibly until they actually had a solution.
You're spinning it, man. I get it. Like that's your side, but it's even if you don't have any information about why it's happening, you can still be upset about it, and that's not an unreasonable way to do. It might be even a purer way of doing feedback.
Of course. Yeah,
I
went out Outriders when I was in my boxes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
Because the reason I bring that up is just because you see a lot of like over what I would consider like consumers acting against their own self-interest in terms of like apologizing for the developer and giving them excuses because of an explanation or because of outside forces. And it's like, okay, I get that. You can be sympathetic, but you can also still hold them accountable and say, as a player, it's just not okay. And
it's not acceptable. Of course, we get that.
No, I mean, you guys covered it pretty well. I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, there's tech stuff, but if somebody's, it's like playing WoW plenty of times. Like there were times Tuesday you had server maintenance, it would come back up. Like that's one thing. And if like you set the expectation up front, servers will be down. That could be just part of what their technical process is right now. But yeah, if things are crashing, as Teddy said, if I'm doing a solo activity and just getting crashes, if I'm seeing like connecting to servers so many times, I'm getting error coded and battle died and all that stuff, that just doesn't feel good. We don't need the technical reasons as to why.
Just to be clear, I don't expect the game to function perfectly 100% of the time. Like I have like a some percentage of acceptance that like the game is going to crash sometimes that are not part of my networking at home. So like I have a threshold, but when it's as constant as it has been for the last whatever, let's say the last 6 months have been specifically much worse, then it's like, come on, either admit that you screwed up and figure it out, or just figure it out and don't explain it to me. Like, don't. When Bungie tends to do something like this, where they take a long time to acknowledge something and say something, that usually means that they're now just starting to like
address
get to it, internally and address it, and so they're generally not a good sign. I don't know if that's the case in this situation because it's something that's on the back end. It's not like a player facing issue. But that's generally in the past when they acknowledge an issue, that's when they start getting to it. So
yeah, I agree.
I would expect a permanent fix somewhere in like the vicinity of 6 months. Anyway, sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. I agree. I think it's literally it's whiteboard stuff, and that ranking of it was not at the top for whatever reason. And now acknowledging it now. So I agree.
Well, we managed to blow through a whole bunch of stuff in about an hour and 10 minutes. That's actually pretty good. Anything else before we kind of wrap this thing up, because it launches on.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I've played enough games. I understand server downtime. It's like if you're going to tell me servers are going to be down on Tuesday before reset for 90 minutes when there's going to be a patch, fine. But it's like, as you said, it's like the past 6 months have escalatingly got worse. Consistent servers come up, then servers go down. We've had more rollbacks. We've had disconnecting servers. I've had more BattleEye Plum server. I'm like, what the? Did my internet just die? Like, what the hell? I'm like, nope, just sitting here playing the game. So, I have a giant W coming my way, though. I have fiber literally in the works. Like, now I don't know if it could be 2 months from now, but they're like painting the lines on the street. They got all that stuff doing. They're like changing the telecom boxes and stuff outside my house. So fiber is in the works. So hopefully a little more consistent and hopefully more speed, because if I can get like 2 gig or 5 gig, I might just go crazy and pay for it. So we'll see. But yeah, that's mine. Yeah, Ebontis everywhere. I'll be probably streaming a little this weekend, but Tuesday I'll stream for like the new season. And then Friday, you guys know it's dungeon time. But that's like all I got, unless you guys have anything else. What do you guys got? They want to go play Diablo, and
they got to do things.
Actually, he hasn't been playing at all. He's saving himself for the real deal because he doesn't want his account to get deleted, and understandable. But he's being a little bit of a bitch about it.
No, you good. You good.
Don't tell him that I said that. But
yeah, we'll make sure we don't.
We make sure he doesn't hear.
Yeah.
No, it's season of deep, man. We'll see what's going on. curious about the narrative. That's my main thing. But
I'm
as
curious
far
about
as
the story.
they're satiating all my sandbox love and build love. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. We didn't even talk about the reticle stuff and all the other things they're doing for quality of life.
Is that
which I
exciting to you
thought-
on reticles? Because I'm like,
It
that's
is. I'm a guy that listen. I'm the guy that on the left column when the things are active. I'm looking at that screen.
that column is useless right now because if you feel like if I'm doing the solo Avalon run, I can't even see how many things I'm holding. Like that needs a UI fix big time. Because if you have like 3 or 4 buffs, I'm like, I need to hold a certain number of like little purple motes. I'm like, how many do I have? I don't know because the UI is broke. Like that's a problem.
Right. It's so busy, but now that they're putting things on the actual reticle to move some of the busyness, it's life-changing stuff. That's all. But we'll see. The last point I'll say is it is curious to me. I know we didn't touch it, and I know we're going short today, but the Destiny 3 server stuff, I mean, Destiny 3 kind of discussion.
The
I don't know.
future Destiny survey.
The future
question
Destiny
thing.
survey question is
Yeah.
interesting to me. And I'm curious after Final Shape what happens. There's a lot of quality of life stuff, and I'm just interested to see how this transitions.
I'm curious how they announce Final Shape because I don't know how they're going to do a season pass with that. Yeah, I was like, I'm so curious about that
Business
whole
model.
situation.
Yep, the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
we're gonna
very
learn very quickly. We're gonna learn in like 3 months because they have to announce it soon.
Yeah, I was like, we're getting to that point where so
getting that state of the game.
Probably August. It'll be Gamescom.
Yeah.
Gamescom.
Yep.
Probably true.
Get ready. Big changes. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm Ebontis. Hold on. How am I gonna do this? Yep. Over there you got Teddy. Glorious to see you on, sir. And it was a short episode, but you still got your numbers up. So way to make that
Take that, Scarrow.
Yeah, Scarrow you got Scarrow.
Yes, that's
Farther
right.
over
My
there-
house, Hero. I'll sneak you onto another one.
Farther over there is Travis, who doesn't sleep, plays video games, and 12 other things for a living. Go watch all of his reviews and get ready to live in Diablo with the rest of us. And over there, Cog. ILP, Defining Duke, Constellation, Last Stand Media, Iron Lords Podcast, Lognet. You got a lot of links. Go look up LordCognito, Iron Lords Podcast, Defining Duke, and Last Stand Media. That probably covers him. All right. Well, thank you, chat. It was a short and sweet episode. Lots to discuss next week, of course. More normal time next week. And for this episode, it has been The Last Word.
The last word.